Anyway, let's get into this game. It's the second map here now, and I'll also quickly update the score. It's 1-0 for Rich after game on Arena stand. And on Equals, this could be another Warden game, and it probably will be with Mercamp first for the Nile player. Although it can also be Demon Hunter, I guess it depends on like personal preference for the Nile player at this point. Arena is definitely the better Warden map, but on Equals you sometimes see Demon Hunter as well, so let's see how that's gonna work out. Hawk builds his altar to the bottom side, so he's probably gonna go for Mercamp first as well. Although he might do the green camp first. We'll have to see. And let's see the hero choice here for WarchiefRich. That's quite an important part for early game here. And it indeed is the Warden again, actually. Not Demon Hunter. And Hawk will definitely fast expand again. He pretty much always does in this matchup, especially against Warden. You want to do that usually. And he's sending out a militia scout, from the altar. Wants to get that scouting information, wants to know what Rich is doing, and also wants to know the hero choice, while just getting his standard economy up here and preparing to creep and getting a fast expansion and so on. He doesn't even scout into the main base straight away, he just wants to see if it's Mercamp creep or not, and it's really likely that it is a Mercamp creep on this map for Night Elf. So he just wants to confirm that. He knows what's going on in the main base anyway. And he also wants to actually try to just steal the Troll Shadow Priest with that militia here. Rich is gonna pull the creeps towards this side and then he can easily steal the Troll Shadow Priest, which we're gonna see in a second here. Rich will also try to get the Lightning Shield here on his archer, which is quite nice to have. Doesn't quite get it yet. There we go. Hawk steals the Troll Shadow Priest. He will instantly die though to the Shadow Strike here, the Shadow Strike first for the Warden. But it is still worth it for Hawk to do this, because it costs no way he's gonna survive. Heal yourself! Do it! He's gonna die. Oh. Damn, that was sad. He could have survived if he would have healed himself. Because Rich thought like, oh, he will die to the dot, but he could have actually still healed himself. That was quite crazy. So Hawk grabbed his green camp first here. Goes for the Mercamp himself now. And still it's quite crazy, like, stealing this Troll Shadow Priest, even though he is supposed to die, is still worth it. Because even though it's 195 gold, it means that his opponent doesn't have the Troll Shadow Priest, which means less heal for the Warden, and also less damage for creeping. So he's in general slower, he burns more Moon Vultures for healing. And he also doesn't have the Troll Shadow Priest for Light On for fighting, and to dispel water metals and so on. WarchiefRich instantly going for the Tree of Life without anything else. It's one Warden, one Archer and the Tree of Life already. Because he knows that Hawk will expand and there's a militia coming already for that expansion. And he wants to set up the counter expansion straight away, especially early on, so the chances of Hawk cancelling it are a lot lower. Because Hawk will first be busy with creeping his own expansion camp and then try to do something about Rich's expansion. He got the boots first in his Archmage, which is quite nice for him to just run away from the Warden to keep his Archmage alive. Although there could have been other nice items, but boots are definitely not that bad. Rich gets the Troll Berserker now, Hawk did so already as well. And both just screaming the expansion spot now, although Hawk is a little bit faster. Got his double free, which is quite nice for him. He will probably get a dust now and then try to push the expansion. And with getting that Troll Shadow Priest early, Rich now only has one Troll Shadow Priest. And it's gonna be quite hard for WarchiefRich to defend. It's probably gonna be level 2 Shadow Strike in. Archmage ran straight into this level 2 Shadow Strike, and it was a little bit too offensive. He got a lot of damage on him already. Warden doesn't have boots though, but the slow from Shadow Strike might be enough. There's a lot more Shadow Strikes, there's potentially also level 1 Blink, so he might be able to force the Archmage to Town Portal. Archmage gets out of vision range though, so no additional Shadow Strike, and with the boots he has an easy time running away. Still, Tree of Life is going up. WarchiefRich's units are in quite some trouble here. Hawk is getting his expansion up already with the Arcane Tower first, and actually got away from the Warden. Those boots are really quite helpful. Especially getting out of the vision range down here by moving around the trees was really good to not get a second Shadow Strike on him, and Rich didn't want to go for the Blink, because maybe he didn't skill anything yet. Maybe he still wants to go into Shadow Strike and Fan of Knives. There's the next Shadow Strike though, but the heal from the Throw Shadow Priest is quite strong. But now the unit's attacking as well, and this will definitely be another Shadow Strike. Warden just bought boost, so Hawk has to get out of here. Doesn't even want to try to dodge the next Shadow Strike, because he would just lose more units here like he did with the True Shadow Priest here, which is quite horrible for him now, because he needed that one to heal up. And doesn't have him now. And he also didn't want to risk getting his Archmage killed by trying to dodge the Shadow Strike because the Warden was on top of him, so he went for the safe route. Water Elemental keeps the tree from rooting in here, so it delays the expansion by a little bit. Gets the next Shadow Priest to heal up his Archmage, still has to be really careful about him though. And both are still tier... oh no, never mind, Null is tier 2 actually. So he did expand, well, build a Tree of Life really early, and still tech quite early as well. So we might see the Panda again, although he doesn't have the gold for it yet. Maybe he's not gonna go into it, maybe it's going to be Solar Warden. Kind of looks like it because he goes for double Ancient of Lore already. We'll have to find out. Troll Shadow Priest gets caught in quite a bad spot and dies. Archmage is at least almost full HP again. But it is still looking quite grim for Hawk here in the straight up army fight, although actually not too bad. It just depends on his Archmage positioning at this point, I would say. And Rich just wants to buy more time here, wants to buy time for his tier 2 stuff to kick in. Gets the Panda now as well, he just wanted this Ancients of Lore early to make it less likely that they get cancelled. And also to get the strides with Dispel earlier, because the Panda so early wouldn't have done so much. And still, he wants to be a little bit more aggressive. I guess Hawk realized that Rich went for quite a greedy tech, so instead of going for more towers and defenses earlier, he instead goes for quite a quick tech himself, with only one Arcane Tower at the expansion, nothing in main base, which is totally fine though, because he can still defend with his army here, and also get enough towers up in time during his tech. Because he needs to also do something quite soon with the expansion from the Null player being so early. Rich now moving away, he can't really take a straight up fight. No more mana for Shadow Strike, and Warden is quite low HP. Hawk tries to use the time to get this here. Doesn't want to straight up creep though, he mainly wants to get those items here. And can't really go for the creep while Rich is pressuring him. Blocked his towers off with the shop here and also has the shop now to heal up and get a nice clarity. So it's quite nice for him, gets a blacksmith already as well. And he will probably go into a kind of tier 2 push play. Although it might still be tier 3, I'm not entirely sure. And Rich now just wants to try to creep up his Panda to level 3, that is quite important. Especially against the tier 2 push. They're a little bit tired, didn't sleep so much today. But anyway. Rich is already going for the tier 3 tech, so not a too heavy tier 2 play. Because on this map things work a little bit different for this matchup. And he has map control anyway with those units here already, at least enough map control to creep, which is all he wants to do. And he wants to get those bears early, he wants to be able to defend against a tier 2 push. There's a Blood Mage second, which is kind of unusual to see, didn't see it in a long time usually in this matchup. Arcane Sanction, and this is probably going to be a tier 2 push. Else he would be taking to tier 3 already, I believe. He's getting defend as well, so he really wants those footmen to still be worth something as well. Second Arcane Sanction, this is definitely going to be a tier 2 push. He will get the workshop in a moment as well, I guess. While Rich is just getting ready for his bear attack. No unit upgrades yet, except for the 1-0, but it's quite usual. And Rich just wants to make sure that Hawk, that is, wants to make sure that Rich doesn't get too much creeping done on his Panda, wants to delay the level 3 Panda by as much as possible. And so Rich going for this with the Scout Farm here, which is quite nice, and also he wants to try to contest this because there's a big consumable item here, like a big mana pot. Create a healing pot, one of mana sealing, invul pot, or Scroll of the Beast. Invis Warden from Rich, that's quite nice. Now Hawk thinks like, oh, there's no Warden, but suddenly there is a Warden and now he's in quite some trouble. He has no TP. He has those defend footmen, which is really nice against the Triads, and so on. And since there's no level 3 Panda yet, he can't single-handedly kill his footmen. But Hawk is having quite a hard time here. There's one more Shadow Strike. If he dodges that one with the invul pot, he does that right now, that's really good. Keeps his hero alive quite easily because there's no more Shadow Strikes coming. His Blood Mage, though, on the other, is in quite some trouble and will probably not get away with that Dryad slow. Doesn't even try to swap the boots. Archmage, Blood Mage dies. It's level 4 for the Warden, almost level 3 for the Panda. And the Ogre Magi is also still alive, I believe. So he can still pick it up and the item. Rebuilding the Blood Mage straight away, and he also got the Workshop finally as well. And just going for the casters now to get the tier 2 push going and try to basically push as early as possible. Rich though is quite well prepared for it, gets those bears, and there was actually an opening into Hog's base. There's the Wand of Lightning Shield again, like in the Tarina stand game, and that deals so much damage. Gets rid of a lot of peasants here. And Rich can do so much, he can buy so much time, he can just TP out of it at the end. And Hog will have such a hard time actually getting Rich out of his base here. Having open base was a big mistake for him. That hurts him a lot. That delays his tier 2 push, cripples his economy, and just gives Rich a lot more experience and time to prepare for that push. And he's just waiting here at the back, just doing this defensively, because Hog is not gold mining at all in here. And he just wants to buy as much time as possible. So there's one heal scroll as well. Goes for the Warden focus to try to force her to TP. No blink. If he would have had level 2 blink, he would have blinked out of here, out of the 7 mana, I believe. So it's probably Fan of Knives and Shadow Strike.
A player's forces are under attack.
Damn, I'm really indeed a little bit tired today. But I think Rich is really well prepared against this push now. It's gonna be really hard for Hog to make this work. And keep in mind, it's Hog's tournament life at this point. He is behind 1-0, and if he loses this one, he drops out, with Rich advancing to the semifinals. Hog in the end still gets the middle spot here with that big invul potion, which is quite nice, because Rich, instead of getting that, decided to rather go into the main base. And Hog is finally getting upgrades as well, but it's also kinda late. And with the army from WarchiefRich, with those Master Bears 1-0 upgrades, there's the Moonwell upgrade already as well. And especially those heroes and double heal scroll, Hog is gonna have such a hard time. He doesn't have a single heal scroll himself, and he really needs those heal scrolls because it's most likely Fan of Knives, Shadow Strike Warden, and level 2 Breath of Fire for the Panda as well. Fairy Dragons are here already too. So Hog, Rich that is perfectly prepared, and he realizes that he's quite far ahead and in a really good position to defend. So already now he's building the Chimera Roost to get those for late game, to snipe off the Mordor teams, to just have nice damage output in general. And it's also kind of hard to counter it for Hog. Now he has the Blood Mage though to siphon the mana from the Heroes of the Night Elf. Has the Ivory Towers here as well. Doesn't go straight for the expansion though. First he sets up Ivory Towers here. He wants to shop control, he has to play a long game, he has to slowly but surely tower his way to the expansion of Rich, because he cannot go for a straight up fight. He just cannot in this matchup as human.
Player's forces are under attack.
Unless he would have had a really good early game or something. The Stars now also help the block. They will die in the process of this fight most likely. There's the Flame Strike. There's... oh god no! That was so strong for Rich. It was, I think, a Breath of Fire, Shadow Strike, and it's GG. Hog drops out of the Gera Cup. That was... his sorcerers casted something and they all got burned by the Fairy Dragons. Then the Shadow Strike on the Mordor team and the Fan of Knives, and everything instantly died before he could have even pulled a heal scroll. And Hog completely gets obliterated in this fight. It's 2-0 for Rich advancing into